Words really can't express how I feel right now. Because words can't express what I'm actually watching. I can't tell you, I can't put into words how I feel watching this football team week in and week out, Sunday after Sunday. And then the organization, the off the field or upstairs, whatever you want to call it, the things that they do is an absolute joke. And then the product that they show on the football field is an embarrassment. And it gets worse and worse every week. Every single week. It constantly, continuously gets worse and worse. And I don't really know how to express it. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. Unfortunately, the Houston Texans fall to the New York Jets in the battle for second slash third, fourth place, whatever you want to call it, the battle for the draft. The Houston Texans fall to the New York Jets, a rookie quarterback at that, 21-14. A game that was winnable. It really was. It was a game that's won, but I know what I said before. Tank season, embrace the tank, and I'm really for that. But the draft, the prospects coming out the draft were really not okay what I thought or what I was hoping they could be. So it really doesn't even really matter your draft position, honestly, because I really don't see a lot of things to look forward to in the draft as of yet. So some games, yeah, I actually want to win. I actually want to see a decent product. And it gets harder and harder to watch this football team. It really does. It gets harder and harder to root for this football team. It really does. And not even with the whole Deshaun Watson situation, just period. It just really does. But before I get into the breakdown of the video, I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to hit that link. Y'all need to go look in the description. Hit them links. I know a lot of y'all been talking about the new camera I got. It's actually not a camera. It's a ring light. Check out the link if you want to get you one. The link is in the description. Also, I'm at 3,900 subscribers. The goal is by the end of the year, I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. If I get to 5,000 subscribers, I'm doing something special for 3 of my subscribers. So, come on, guys. I need y'all. We need to get up to, at the very least, 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If I get that goal, I got something special I'm going to do for at least 3 of my subscribers once I get to 5K. So I need y'all help to get me to 5K. We need to get to 5K. So I need y'all help. I need y'all to like, share, subscribe. Hit look in the description. Hit them links. My social media is on there. Hit them links. Let's get this goal. Let's get this goal going. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this game. This utter embarrassment of a football team that we have to support for some strange reason. The Houston Texans fall to the New York Jets, like I said, 21-14, which, like I said, was a game that was completely winnable. Like it was completely winnable. Tyrod Taylor was 17 of 26 with a complete percentage of 65.4, had 158 yards, averaging 6.1 yards per attempt. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked 5 times, had a quarterback rating of 91.5. David Johnson, we constantly run the football with him. He had 10 rushes for 39 yards, averaging 3.9 yards per attempt. Brandon Cooks was targeted 5 times, had 3 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins targeted 5 times, had 2 catches for 28 yards. Brevin Jordan got his second touchdown of his career. He was targeted 3 times, had 3 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. Jonathan Gennard had another sack that brings him up to 8, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's tied for 6 in the AFC, and I think he's 12th in all in the NFL. You know, he kind of took a dip. He missed. I know he missed last week against the Titans, and I think he didn't get a sack against the Dolphins, so that kind of hurt him in the standings. Plus, you know, we also had a bye week as well, but that kind of hurt him in the standings. But as far as the sack leaders go, but he's still up there. He's only 2 away from reaching double digits, so hopefully he gets double digits by the end of the year. One of the bright spots on defense. Now, on the Jets side, Zach Wilson, the second pick in the draft, made his return because he missed a couple games, I think, with a sprained MCL or PCL, something like that. He was 14 of 24 for 58 complete percentage of 58.3, 145 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Was sacked 4 times, had a quarterback rating of 58.5. Colvin had 6 rushes for 67 yards. Zach Wilson got one of their rushing touchdowns. Elijah Moore was targeted 8 times, had 4 catches for 48 yards. Just really didn't do anything offensively on both sides. This has to be probably the worst offense I've ever watched. I know I said this a couple videos ago. And like I said, I shouted out my son's youth football team last week. We made all the way to the championship game. But I said this, that I'd rather watch my youth son's football team is more entertaining. My son's 7 years old. He plays with 7 and 8-year-olds. Like that's their team, 7 and 8-year-olds. They are more entertaining to watch offensively than this professional football team. You know why? Because it's a combination of both. Because we can sit up and we can blame Tim Kelly all day. We can blame Cully all day. We can blame not having the quarterback all day. This team lacks offense, lacks offensive direction, and from a coaching standpoint, they don't know what they're doing. Part of the reason why, how about you take a guy who had the worst receiving corps in the NFL last year, and also 10 years ago was the receiver coach of the only receiving unit that didn't catch a touchdown that season, and yet you make him your head coach. That's who you make your head coach. Again, I think that David Culley is a figure. I think he's just here. I think he's just here to be here. I think he's just here to be here to take some of the hits. I have a theory about that later on, but I think he's here just to take a couple hits, from the media standpoint, from the fan standpoint, the point finger, so we get off of Jack Easterby and get off of Nick Casario and get off of Cal McNair. But it comes a point in time that at the very least you have to do something. You have to do something because you go when you up here throwing the ball to David Johnson, when Brandon Cooks is a Pro Bowl receiver, or at least at the very least a Pro Bowl caliber receiver. He might not have made a Pro Bowl, but he's a 1,000-yard receiver. Had 1,000 yards on every team he's ever played on. The Saints, the Patriots, the Rams had 1,000 yards was last year, even though Deshaun Watson was quarterback. Why are you only targeting him 5 times? Why are you not taking no deep shots? You only mustered up 14 points. When your defense played well enough for you to win in the beginning of that game, you don't do anything offensively. This is the worst offense I've ever seen. Part of the reason why you don't have a damn quarterback. I'm sorry. And I said Titus Howard is a perfect backup quarterback, but you can't play long stretches of football games with him when you're not even trying to throw the ball downfield. I want to like Nico Collins. I actually like Nico Collins. I liked him before the draft. Nico Collins and Jonathan Grenard are 2 guys that we end up drafting that I actually liked before the draft process. I talked about Nico this time last year with thinking we're going to have Deshaun Watson, possibly have Will Fuller, have Brandon Cooks, and you're mixing Nico with his size and his strength. Okay, cool. We don't give them opportunities. I don't like him in this offense because of what he got going around with the offense scheme that we're running. Tim Kelly got to go, bro. Like square business. Like I know that Kubiak was able to do things with Matt Schaub, and Matt Schaub was lacked the talent, but he also had Andre Johnson. I mean physical talent of himself, but he had Andre Johnson. He had Owen Daniels. He had one of the best offensive lines in the league at that time, back in the 2009, 2010, 2011 era. You also had Arian Foster, one of the best running backs in the league at the time as well. So you were able to do things offensively to take the heat off him. You don't have that type of talent offensively around you, and then you don't have that type of talent from the quarterback position. And to be honest, Tyrod Taylor is more talented, physically talented, than Davis Mills. But they both give you the same type of production because of what's going on offensively from a coaching standpoint. It's the worst offense I've ever seen. And I've watched us with Brock Osweiler quarterback 14 games. This is the worst offense I've ever seen. And to be honest, that's the really only take from the game. From the game inside the numbers, inside the 100 yards, the only take is this is the worst offense I've ever seen. It continues to get worse. Now, let's talk about something else. Oh, but before we talk about that, also I want to bring up Titus Howard because they moved Titus Howard from guard. They moved him from right tackle from last year, moved him to guard, and they put him at left tackle, and Tyrod Taylor gets sacked 5 times. And then David Culley comes up here and talk about, well, it's a week-to-week thing. You don't move offensive linemen. I'm not an offensive lineman coach, but you don't move offensive linemen based off a matchup. Those 5 guys, you don't touch. You get your 5 guys, you don't move them unless it's an injury. That's it. That they have to move as a cohesive unit. They gotta move. You don't move them around like that. You don't mix and match them. That's not what you do. Like, come on, you don't do that with offensive linemen. This whole thing of we're gonna get a whole bunch of guys together and they can play all different type of things like this. Bill O'Brien, Swiss Army knife. We got athletes and we got versatile guys. We taking that shit way too serious. How about he's a right tackle? How about that? He played well at right tackle. His rookie year, he played well last year. I seen tape of him last year when we played against the Steelers. Him completely handle T.J. Watt. I see him against Jacksonville as a rookie handle Josh Allen. He's a right tackle. Leave him at right tackle. How about that? Leave him at right tackle. But let's talk about the real news of the game. You bench and healthy scratch Justin Reed. We take this whole culture thing way, way too far. You don't think Justin Reed could help that defense yesterday? You don't think we could have won a football game with Justin Reed playing defense yesterday? Now, we are 2-9. We 11 games in this season. 5 of your best defensive players, because Justin Reed is your best defensive player. 3 of your top 5 best defensive players on this team have been suspended for disciplinary reasons. Justin Reed, Zach Cunningham. I'm gonna put Gruger here. I'm gonna put Gruger Hill in there. I'm gonna put Jonathan Gennard because he's your sack leader, and I'm gonna put Desmond King because he's probably your best corner. Desmond King, Justin Reed yesterday, and earlier this season, Zach Cunningham have all been disciplined for disciplinary reasons, missed time, missed games for disciplinary reasons. And then it comes out that it was like what? It was a disagreement, and he was asked a question and answered it honestly. He asked a question, was answered honestly, and then he doesn't play. What was the question and what was the answer that you decide I'm bench him? And then David Culley comes in and talk about it was his decision. You can miss me with that, man. They doing that, so you can't sit in that you gonna sit up and tell me after watching all this football that David Culley really got that type of pull that he gonna be like, you know what, it's my decision. He a healthy scratch. Man, that come from Jack used to be and Calvin there and Nick Casario. You can miss me with that mess. You can miss me with that mess. He's here to take the brunt. He's here for, man, see, I told y'all, man, David Culley don't know what he's doing. That's exactly what that is. That's exactly what that is. And, I was up there, because he's a free agent. He's going to be a free agent. I was like, you know what? More likely he's not going to sign with the Texans. But if he has a good season, the Texans really like him, the Texans got control because they can franchise tag him if they choose to. And then he would have to at least play one more year, or at the very least, maybe then can work out an actual long-term deal. And I know some people, a lot of people via the draft wants to get either Derek Stingley Jr., the corner out of LSU, or get Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame. I think that'd be a good unit with Justin Reed. One of those two guys, if not both of them, if you make the right decision with the Deshaun Watson trade. That's out the window now. Completely out the window. That's completely and utterly out the window right now because of what they just did. The Texans showed their hand that they don't want him. Just like I say, they don't want Deshaun. If Deshaun came right now in his hands and he said he wanted to play football, they'd be like, no, I don't want you, bro. We probably seen the last of Justin Reed in the Texan uniform. I just like I think we've seen the last of Akins in the Texan uniform, and we've seen the last of Deshaun in the Texan uniform because of the organization. Because they're so smart. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. That's why you lose to the Jets. We are now 6-3 all time. The Jets are 6-3 all time against the Texans in head-to-head matchups because of situations like that. Because of situations, you're 2-9 because of situations like that. And then, because the defense actually played well. The defense has played well enough all year to win games. I think, legitimate offense, the defense played well enough to win 10 games, but you don't win 10 games because the defense like the defense turns the ball over. Like let's talk about Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson really good. He reminds me kind of a strong arm, but not enough magic of Johnny Manziel. Because ain't enough Johnny Manziel was magical, and he maybe it's the number two, maybe it's his frame. He kind of reminds me of Johnny Manziel, but he doesn't have that magic. And I know he's coming off of his first game. He's coming off of MCL sprain, the PCL sprain, whatever it is. But I don't really. I actually like their receiver, Elijah Moore. I actually think Elijah Moore would do well in certain teams. I just don't see I really don't see that dynamic now with them two. I'm not really a fan of Zach Wilson. I don't think he's going to be the guy. And the defense had him. The defense had him on the ropes. And then here comes Ross Blacklock. They about to kick a game time field goal. Ross Blacklock. And I seen it in real time. The leverage. Boom. Flag. Gives them an automatic first down. Then the very next play, Jacob Martin gets a sack on Zach Wilson. Boom. Offsides. Y'all know who went the pick after him, right? Everybody knows the pick. The pick after we drafted Ross Blacklock, the Colts took Jonathan Taylor. How about Jonathan Taylor on this offense right now? Maybe if we had Jonathan Taylor, maybe we could be a more serviceable offense. Maybe if our defense play, because who's to say that Ross Blacklock, who's saying out here that Ross Blacklock is a catalyst on the defense? Ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody saying that at all. So without Ross Blacklock, the defense still playing the same. So maybe if you have Jonathan Taylor, maybe you have a better offense. Maybe if you drafted Jonathan Taylor last year, maybe some of that pressure been off Deshaun Watson. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Deshaun Watson will feel better about the Texans. Who knows? Maybe the Texans would have won more games last year if you had Jonathan Taylor. But we already know the reason why they didn't do that, because they had David Johnson, they golden boy. But who did I want? I wanted Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs leads the league in interceptions right now. This team, the Texans defense, I think is third in the NFL behind the Patriots, and I forgot who's the other team. I don't know if it's the Rams. It's another team, but it's number one. But I know Patriots number two. But the Texans are third in turnovers. If you take Trayvon Diggs, who leads the league in picks, and put him in this defense, there's already opportunities. He's already turned the ball over first in turnovers. Him with just a read, and then especially if you get. We can go down the wagon, we can go down the road, especially if you end up getting a Stingley Jr. and a Kyle Hamilton, 1, 2, if not both. Man, that secondary is solidified. Y'all know how I feel about the damn secondary. I've been talking about the secondary for 4 years. The secondary would be solidified just off that merit alone. But that's getting too much in the weeds, and that's too much pie in the sky, and that's too much me overthinking, overanalyzing of what could have been. But instead, you have Ross Blacklock. There's it said. You have Ross Blacklock. Like I said, the defense played well enough to win. They really did. The defense played completely well. The defense played well enough to win, but it's just sad. The defense played well enough to win all season long. It's just they don't get anything offensively. But now, since the Texans lost, let's talk about the updated draft board. Because right now, we're going to be on draft watch. Just as we talk about draft, we right now we're on draft watch. Because as right now, the standard is that the Lions, because they have no wins, the Lions have the first pick in the draft. The Texans are number 2 in the draft. Jacksonville is number 3, which is weird because we have the same amount of wins, but we beat Jacksonville. So really, I would think that we would be behind them, that Jacksonville would be 2 and we'd be 3. But as of right now, they have us as 2, Jacksonville is 3. The Jets are 4th, even though they won, but the Jets are 4th. The Jets also at 5 because they have the pick from Seattle, so that Seattle's pick has them at 5. The Giants are 6. The Giants are also 7th because the Giants have the Bears pick. Washington football team is 8. The Eagles are 9. And the Eagles are also 10 because they have the Dolphins pick. So 3 teams, the Jets, the Giants, and the Eagles, have 3 picks. All 3 of those teams have 2 picks in the top 10 in the top 10. Now, not to get into just complete draft talk and Deshaun Watson trade talk. That's one of the reasons why I feel like the best move, because the Jets just drafted Zach Wilson. They're not trading for Deshaun. Obviously, Deshaun's claiming he doesn't want to go to the Eagles, and I think they're hot and cold when it comes to Jalen Hurts. I really want the Texans to take Deshaun Watson and move him to the Giants because of that. You have 2 picks. You have 2 picks from them in the top 10, and you have your own pick. You have 3 picks in the top 10, so you can be able to get a Stingley Jr. and a Kyle Hamilton. Especially you're definitely gonna need Kyle Hamilton now Justin Reed about to leave. Now I think actually that might be the pick right now. They probably leaning towards Kyle Hamilton, who's a beast at safety. Like I said, the takeaways from the game is the inept on offense, that the defense can't do anything. Even the defense forces turnovers. The last 2 weeks prior forced 5 turnovers. Offense give the ball back 4 more times. Last week, Tyrod Taylor was able to score touchdowns. It's really because last week it was more so when you forced the turnovers. You forced the turnovers early, and then you forced them over late in red zone situations. That you were able to continue to keep the win against the Titans and turn them over in the fourth quarter. So early, late, and in the red zone, that's the real reason why you beat the Titans, because you really didn't do anything offensively in that game as well. And then yesterday, it's just, I don't know. Well, I do know. We're missing our quarterback. We missing our quarterback, and you bring Bill O'Brien's understudy to call the offense. It's just not a recipe for success. But this is the bed that the Texans are lying in. This is what they want. This is the horse they going. This is what they dying with. This right here. This is the hill that they want to die on. This hill right here. This exact hill right here. So we're gonna see how it plays out. But we already know how it plays out because we've all been watching football. These are the idiots that don't. And they letting their egos, and they letting their control, and they letting their patriot way. Remember, this is the same. Remember, Jack and Nick Casario come from the same brass that benched Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. One of their best corners in the most important game. And they lose to Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles either threw for 500 yards or almost threw for 500 yards. I know Tom Brady did in that game. But the reason why they won their best corners. Because of disciplinary issues. It comes from that same type of organization. They have that same type of mind and brain trust. Come on, man. But like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. Hey, follow me. Go back to the descriptions. Follow me on social media because I'm doing something special on Friday on Instagram. So I need y'all to follow me. If y'all don't follow me, follow me. I'm doing something special on Instagram, something I've never done before. I'm doing something special. I need y'all to follow me on Instagram. I need y'all to hit them links. And like I said, I need y'all we need to get up to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Come on now, we gotta do this. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I holla.